Welcome back to the Naughty Corner. I am your host, Courtney. This is Court is in Session. Joining us again is Nate. We are starting with a not yet used segment, Fucked Around and Found Out. So the first one is actually pretty wholesome. I asked ChatGPT to explain my job to a 5-year-old, and now I'm questioning my entire career. So I'm a senior data analytics consultant. Fancy title for someone who makes Excel charts, and thought it would be funny to see how ChatGPT would explain my job to a kid. Me. Explain what a senior data analytics consultant does, but make it simple enough for a 5-year-old to understand. ChatGPT. A data analytics consultant is like someone who counts things for other people because those people are too busy or don't know how to count very well themselves. Imagine if your mum asked you to count all the toys in your room, but instead of doing it herself, she paid a stranger to come over and count them. Then the stranger makes a colourful picture showing that you have 10 cars, 5 dolls, and 3 blocks, and gives it to your mum like it's some big discovery. That's basically what a data consultant does, except instead of toys, they count things like how many people bought ice cream on Tuesday, and then make pretty charts about it. I have never felt so professionally attacked by such an accurate description. The worst part, I sent this to my mum and she replied, "Oh, so you're the toy counter. That makes sense now." I have a master's degree. Tried explaining it to my 6-year-old nephew. He said, "So you count stuff? I can do that too. Want to see?" And he proceeded to count to 47 before getting distracted by a butterfly. Kid's not wrong. My coworker saw this and asked ChatGPT about her job as a marketing strategy director. Apparently, she helps companies decide what colors to make their pitches and which words sound the most exciting when trying to sell people things they probably don't need. She's now having an existential crisis too. So what's your job? Let's see if ChatGPT can destroy your self-worth in under 100 words.
Ask and you shall receive.
Oh, it was amazing. I love it.
That's just really good.
I just love how that kid is like, yeah, I don't even have a master's degree and I can totally do data analytics.
Know how much to learn to count? I learned it in kindy for free. I don't even need to take my shoes off now.
Okay. Rounding out our Fucked Around and Found Out. Coming at us from the Women's Humour Facebook page. It is a screenshot of a tweet from Romano Rochelle, and it says, "Did it hurt when I told you to Google it and I was right?"
Yes. Yes, it does hurt. But it's usually me telling them to Google
it. Seriously, when it's Ben, like, I won't tell him to Google it. I'll just disengage from the conversation because I'm like, there's no point in me trying to convince you I'm right, and I know I'm right, so I'm just going to leave it. And then, like, immediately I'll watch and see that he's Googling it. And he'll either just quietly put down his phone or he'll, like, see that I'm looking and be like, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's the exact same with Chloe. I don't need to tell her to Google it most of the time, knowing that her autistic ass is just going to Google it anyway.
Oh, well, we were watching the latest season of Has Been Hotel, and I recognized a voice, and I've gone to Ben, and I'm like, who is that voice? How do I recognize that voice? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you're about to Google it, aren't you? And he's like, probably. And he's like, probably. So we now have another Pick Your Poison.
Yay.
So our Pick Your Poison segment, I provide 2 specific titles, and our guest co-host gets to choose which rabbit hole we're going down. We have What the Actual Fuck, Helen? And I, 38 male, discovered my 37 female wife's affair. I'm in shock.
Oh, I need the tea. But they both sound like they have tea. And I'm a thirsty bitch. Affair.
Okay.
I need the affair. What was the okay for?
I just know you'd really enjoy Helen.
Then give me Helen.
Do you want to do both? We can do both. Oh, no, yes. We can't. That's the point of Pick Your Poison. I mean, I suppose if you
What if I just want to double fist my poison?
I was going to say, if you drink it fast enough, you
just drink all the poison.
Okay, this coming from Humourous Resources Facebook page from the 8th of October. What the actual fuck, Helen? And it is a screenshot of a LinkedIn post. In BDSM, if you ignore the safe word, you ruin the night. In HR, you end up in tribunal. The power isn't with the one in leather holding the whip, it's with the submissive. And in compliance, it isn't HR holding the policies, it's the employee. Most people assume it's the other way around. But in both cases, ignore requests or boundaries and the whole thing collapses. The difference, submissives usually just walk away, employees call lawyers. And lawyers don't stop at pineapple. It's so good. Honestly, I can see Helen's information from the LinkedIn post. I'm going to hit that bitch up. We should be friends.
Yes. But also, pineapple is such a tame, safe word. Just get a better word.
Oh.
Like, I would use pineapple at least 5 times a day. Your safe word is meant to be a word that you're not going to just going to randomly use.
Yeah, well, usually like pineapple can be one of
Like,
those
we have
words.
pineapple-flavored lube.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Pineapple's delicious.
my kid currently has an emotional support pineapple, so it's definitely not going to work in our house.
And unlike the previous episodes, that pineapple is not upside down.
Okay. So, I, 38 male, discovered my 37 female wife's affair. I'm in shock. I, 38 male, have been lurking on Reddit for a while. Sadly, this is my first post. I never imagined I'd be writing something like this. Please bear with me. I'm in so much shock. I discovered a few hours ago that my wife, 37 female, of 10 years, is having an affair with a coworker. She doesn't know that I know. We have a 2-year-old toddler who is the center of our world. We've built a beautiful life together in a lovely home, a happy family. I now feel like everything is falling apart. I'm writing this in bed at 4 a.m., hands shaking, chest tight, sweating and freezing at the same time. I feel like I can't breathe. This is the first time I've ever breached her privacy in our relationship, and I feel awful about it, but I had to know the truth. For weeks, something had felt off. After returning from a week-long work trip, she suddenly became distant and cold. She's been coming home at 1 to 2 a.m. from work events or book club meetings. I told myself it was just busy season and that every couple has rough patches, especially with a toddler. But I knew in my gut something was wrong. I've always been supportive of her career and independence, but this felt different. And now I know that some of those events weren't what she said they were. I'm gutted. I feel so betrayed. Reading her texts, like she even mentioned me and our baby. She seemed clear-minded and intentional in what she was doing. That hurts the most. I don't know what I want right now. Part of me wants to save our marriage, but I don't know if I can trust her again. I've never betrayed her. I keep thinking about our child, and it breaks my heart to imagine him growing up in an unhappy home. Morning is coming soon, and I don't know how to handle this. I'm looking for guidance from people who have been through something similar. How did you decide what to do first, and what helped you stay grounded? I've reached out to my therapist to try and get an appointment later today. Thank you for any practical or emotional advice you can share. You don't often get men like this.
See, I wanted tea, but that's just sad.
I know.
There was no tea.
Well, not yet.
I feel worse for the child. But, you know.
I mean, they're 2.
2 Christmases.
No, it is sad. I mean, my dude, his immediate response was not to kill his wife. And honestly, that's pretty much the standard we're at right now.
No, you don't kill the wife. You kill the person they're cheating with.
The point is he didn't fly into a violent rage.
Murder is wrong. You should never commit murder. Unless it's justified.
Well, if that's the case, it's self-defense, not murder.
Correct.
Yes, the name of the charge counts. Okay, we have an edit. First, I want to say thank you, guys. I'm choking back tears as I write this edit from a coffee shop 36 hours after I made the discovery. I'm so grateful for your comments and DMs. They've taught me, a somewhat naive and overly positive person, different perspectives, and helped me keep a level head and cool down during quite possibly the most difficult moment of my life. They reminded me that I'm not alone in this, and for that, I am beyond grateful. Second, I live in New York, a no-fault state, so that might head off some comments about collecting evidence. Third, the first 24 hours were brutal. I literally didn't sleep, but survived it and was able to sleep the following day and wake up to another day. In that time, I took action. I spoke to a trusted friend, spoke to a therapist, and spoke to 2 lawyers to educate myself. If it weren't for you all, I don't know that I'd been able to move on, creating and executing a rational plan so quickly. Lastly, she doesn't know that I know. It's been 36 hours and I need more time to clear my head and understand what I want. I'm journaling. I don't know what my next step is yet, but I feel clearer now on knowing what my options are. I'll do my best to provide an update. There aren't any further updates, but the emotional maturity of this man is quite rare.
Yeah, they sound like they have it under control as much as they can, which is great to hear. That they're putting their child first and their own mental health rather than just flying off the handle is fantastic. As a man, I feel we shouldn't ever be afraid to say these things. Like that, I've been in therapy since I was 15, and it's helped me be here to this day. So to hear
And
other
even that was a bit
people,
late for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it should have been much sooner. The warning signs were there.
Started in the womb.
Yeah, but also as a child of divorce, 2 Christmases is pretty rare.
Especially given what your mum can afford.
Yeah. And given that I have 2 gay parents on top of that.
Yeah. Like gay Christmas is just better than regular Christmas.
Oh, gay Christmas is always better than regular Christmas. Their wedding is fantastic.
Okay, we are moving on to a round of shit cunts and sick cunts. So this is our Am I the Asshole posts? Shit cunts, terrible people, sick cunts, awesome people. Because sometimes you'll read a story and someone may just be asking for validation, or they may be genuinely conflicted because of the other feedback they're getting in their life, where they think they've fucked up when in actual fact they're an absolute legend that deserves a religion started about them. And that's why it is never just as simple as an am I the asshole or not conversation. This one, am I the asshole for telling my best friend she's dead to me because she had absolutely no business telling my fiance what I went through as a kid?
Too early to make a call. I'm leaning towards not a sick cunt, but definitely not the asshole. Decision pending.
Well, I've got to try and actually need to get a better look at this because the post has since been deleted.
Oh.
So I have had to take a screenshot of it, but then I've put it in such a small space that I now can't read it because the text got too small. Okay, so I, 25 female, have been with my fiance, 26 male, for 6 years. I've been friends with my best friend, 27 female, since we were kids. I was abused all my life. I have physical scars from it, and my left eyesight is limited because of it. I studied hard and got out at 18 with a full scholarship to a college where I lived in the dorms. I graduated last year with my diploma in psychology. I'm very proud of myself. My fiance doesn't know about the severe abuse I had to live with, simply that my family was bad and I don't have any contact with them anymore. I also never planned on telling because he doesn't need to know that part of me. I'm a happy person and that's all he needed to know, in my opinion, not the scared little girl I used to be. I'm diagnosed with complex PTSD and anxiety, which I take both medications for. My best friend knows about my abuse because I stayed with her and her family for a little time before going to college. So the topic came up because I hate small spaces and didn't want to go in an elevator when I went to take the stairs. My fiance doesn't know exactly why I don't like tight spaces and asked me, which I said I simply feel trapped. My best friend and her boyfriend were with us, so after that she decided to text my fiance and tell him in detail what she knows. He was crying when asking me if it was true and really full on sobbing. We fought about this because he didn't want to answer me about who told him until he caved. I left and I'm currently staying in a hotel. I texted my best friend, probably a little too long message, that I'm done with her, that she's dead to me, and that it was not her place to tell him about this. She cussed me out and said she was only being there for me and my fiance because one day I'd have to tell him about my trauma. No, I do not have to. I blocked her and yeah, I made a new account for this because my old one is a lurker account and my fiance knows about it.
Yeah, you are in no way an asshole. That is your truth to tell. That will always be your truth to tell.
Or not.
Or not tell. That is your choice. To betray someone like that, especially after you would have gone through it with them. Like, yeah, even if they're staying at your house, if their family is that abusive, they are coming to your house to try and take them back. Like,
and you've basically just told them that they can't trust even the people they think are the closest to them.
Absolutely. Which is just going to re-trigger everything. Now, if he doesn't know you have PTSD or something of the like and that you are taking medication for it, that is definitely a conversation you should have had with him. You don't need to tell him necessarily what has caused it, but you should definitely make it aware that you do have certain conditions just so that he isn't as likely to trigger an episode.
Yeah. Like, the thing that stands out to me is under zero circumstances should anyone be telling someone your private business unless is going to have, like, there's a health risk in. Like, if you're fucking around on your partner and having unsafe sex, I am absolutely telling whoever you are with, because their health and safety is going to be impacted. Like, that's a no-go. But when we're talking about something like this, all of the consequences are on her for whether she tells him or not. If there was, like, this is complex PTSD, which is a variation of PTSD that
is more complex.
Yeah, but the whole being thrown back into a memory and being trapped there and then having what are essentially episodes of psychosis while you're trying to come out of it, the fugue states, they're not the same in complex PTSD because the PTSD has been triggered by a series of events that have occurred across a largely specific, like an overall period of time, as opposed to one singular event that the brain can fixate on in a way that triggers the psychosis to be far more intense. Is it probably a good idea that anyone close to you, especially living in close quarters with you, know that that's a thing? Sure. Would he be at risk of any violent outbursts that he would need to protect himself from? Highly unlikely, because that would have presented by now or before they had actually started cohabitating in a way where she would have obviously tried to say something to him in order to at least explain it so he could be protected from that. Despite all of that, if you are in a position where you are planning on marrying someone and for whatever reason you feel it is not possible for you to share with them the most intimate parts of your life, why are you marrying them at all?
Yeah.
Like, if this isn't something...
At the very least, that's when they should find out that you have these diagnoses. Give it more time to tell them why you have them. You have the rest of your lives at that point, but they should at least know, hey, shit happened when I was growing up. I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but this is the result of it.
Yeah, but even then, like, if it's you're not ready to talk about it, then that means there's still a lot there you haven't processed, in which case it's like Alcoholics Anonymous rules. Like, you need to check your own shit first alone so you can be a healthy individual before you can then have what is expected to be a healthy partnership in a relationship. So if she hasn't worked through it to the point where she is able to have those conversations around them with someone she's apparently planning on spending the rest of her life with, then is she in a position at all to have any sort of healthy relationship? And it really doesn't matter how this one ended because it was probably going to anyway. Because eventually, like, things were going to be popping up, these sort of idiosyncrasies like the not being able to use an elevator. 6 years in, he's already, a few...
Is this the first elevator ride they've ever taken in 6 years?
Well, it's like he's clearly like a six-pack short of a carton here if he hasn't started asking questions already.
Which may, in fact, be what she is waiting for, is for him to come to her about it, to give her that space.
Yeah, but basically, if you're not in a position to be starting a lifelong partnership with someone, if this isn't something that you're comfortable sharing with them, like in those partnerships, one of the core tenets of them and the foundational basis of them should be a place of psychological safety where they feel comfortable and calm. Like, otherwise, what kind of life would you be looking at?
Yeah.
Like, it'd just be all secrecy. Like, you'd always be kind of forever on edge if you're actively working to keep information.
Which, if you have CPTSD, is one of the worst things you could do. So hopefully, even though their friend is a piece of shit, very clearly, this is going to give them a chance to have a more honest and open conversation.
Yeah, or for them to actually recognize that maybe, that they're not ready to be in that level of a relationship. Key comments: respectfully, I don't think it was wise to hide everything from your fiance. It's clear you still have a lot to unpack and he deserves to understand what he's getting into before marrying you.
Yeah.
But you are correct that it was not your friend's place to disclose that information to him. Like, yeah, fair, like, right or wrong, the friend is a cunt. Like, that's a shit cunt move. Edit. OP has not disclosed to their partner that they have PTSD. Everyone sucks here, but I still stand that this was an overstep on the friend's part. But OP's history of lying to her partner, see comments, and completely asinine behavior in this comment section proves she's not ready for marriage or any committed relationship. You need a lot of self-growth. I mean, OP can't use elevators. Like, this is the person they are going to marry. What happens if OP goes to the hospital and needs to use the elevators? What happens? What happens if OP has a baby? Just going to carry them up and down huge amounts of stairs with no explanation to the spouse? And that's just one thing. OP is not ready for marriage, and running to a hotel room because fiance found out about their past, not healthy and not okay. If I was the fiance, I would feel incredibly betrayed and would probably break off the engagement. Like, that's a fair point. Like,
Yep.
in the end, if you are going to be in a partnership, then part of that partnership is that when shit goes down, you're actually going.
Yeah, he would likewise
communicate
feel
about it.
like there has been a betrayal. I know I would.
Well, I mean, like, I wouldn't feel betrayed. If anything, I'd feel like hurt. Like, what
why
did
didn't
I?
they trust me enough?
Yeah. Like, have I done something to not be a safe space for you? And like, why? If I'm not a safe space for you to talk to me about that kind of thing, why are you marrying me? Like,
I'd also be second guessing a lot of interactions I've ever had with that person, and oh no, have I ever done something that has triggered them and sent them down a bad path? Yeah, it's just a messy situation all around. That's the tea I was expecting with the divorce.
next one from the subreddit AITAH, which is just another Am I the Asshole thread. So I told my wife that our marriage isn't the right fit for me anymore when she took sex off the table. Am I the asshole? I, 38 male, have a high libido, and my wife, 36 female, has a low one. We've been in a dead bedroom for about 4 years now, and we have kids together. She recently told me she wants to go to individual therapy to stop making her responsible for my sexual needs. I've tried my best to communicate over the years, but as soon as she said that phrase, I've had a deep realization that I've had it all wrong. Of course, I don't want to have sex that isn't fully consensual, but I think by constantly talking to her about it, asking for more effort in the bedroom, initiative, and playfulness in our day-to-day interactions, I had made her feel responsible for my happiness. I am still struggling to understand because when I promised to forsake all others, I thought I was choosing to be in a relationship where my partner would proactively want to meet my relationship needs, not out of responsibility or duty, but because we were in tune with each other. I thought we shared the same values when it comes to intimacy and had the same desires so that it wouldn't be a chore. The truth is I still have those needs and she doesn't, and that's okay. She's not wrong for being where she is, but it also means this relationship is no longer the right fit for me. And I don't think I owe it to the marriage to keep depriving myself of something that makes me feel loved and alive. We are in couples therapy, and she proposed taking sex entirely off the table so we can focus our energies elsewhere while I wait for her to regain her sex drive, which she mentioned isn't a guarantee. She says she loves me and loves our partnership as best friends and parents and partners in the romantic sense, but she says sex is off the table. So after a few days of just mulling it over, I told her that I thank her for being honest with me. I said you're not responsible for my needs, but I owe it to myself to be in a relationship where those needs are met. And if that's not possible with you anymore, then this marriage just isn't the right fit for me. I also said I'm grateful to her for being honest about why sex is off the table because it gives me time to plan things out. We have a prenup and we've both worked hard to build our wealth together. It's scary, and I know that separating might mean losing active access to my kids 50% of the time, but I'll be fine. The fault isn't hers, but it's also true that she's stopped being the person I can feel happy and fulfilled with. She has taken this extremely badly. She has made all sorts of assumptions about me and demands an answer as to why I wasn't curious about her thought process behind what she wants us to do. She said that I blindsided her, but honestly, I am not angry with her anymore. She takes an issue with the language I used, but I don't see how. She has mentioned she doesn't want the blame and responsibility for my relationship needs but not being met, and I thought, isn't that exactly what I was doing? I took upon the responsibility of all the choices I made, and sadly that included choosing her. She's been acting defensive and angry even when it comes to discussing kids and not our relationship. Part of me thinks she isn't as mature as she makes herself sound. Okay, so for starters, the ages here are 38 and 36. You're saying that you're wanting to be in tune with her. How much you doing at home, bro? Because if you've got kids and you ain't pulling your weight, no one wants to parent their husband. No one's going to be sexually attracted to their husband while they're attempting to parent them. So if you're not taking care of your own shit at home and you're not pulling your weight when it comes to the kids, then I guarantee you by the time her head hits the pillow, she's passing the fuck out at night and just isn't interested. And that level of exhaustion, when it carries across years in a relationship, that is the type of burnout that can take a very long time. The other thing that I noticed regarding the ages that they've mentioned is that even though it might be a bit early, it's happening earlier and earlier from what I'm noticing in the trends, but menopause could very easily be at play. And there are a lot of sex lives that start to tank in the early stages of menopause when there are things like vaginal dryness causing pain, when you have estrogen levels basically throwing your mood swings off to the point where you get to the point where you're just like, who the fuck put this grass outside? Like, just everything pisses you off. And it seems like the way she's come out and said that she's annoyed that he wasn't curious about what her thought process was. I feel like had he actually asked her and they attempted to have a conversation around what those barriers were, it's quite possible that it was something that it's connected to something that is easily fixable. But people just don't communicate the way they're supposed to.
I'm a bit of a devil's advocate here then, because I'm seeing this from his side. First off, he has made the right decision to leave. If you are not happy, leave. There is no point cheating on someone just for sex. Secondly, there are professionals in this field for a reason. Sex workers are a thing for a reason. If it's that much of an issue, talk to your wife. Go get a rub and tug. Problem solved. You're happy being best friends with her.
Or at least start with a
co-parenting with
therapist.
Yeah. Relationship therapy isn't what you need, clearly, if you are best friends with each other still and amazing co-parents with each other. They have worked hard to build this wealth together. If he's not pulling his weight at home, maybe that's because he's not home to pull his weight, because he is just out working exorbitant hours while she's at home with the kids.
Yeah.
We don't have a picture of what home life is like. Yeah, that could be a major issue, and it quite often is, but unless we get all sides of the story, we're never going to get an answer to that.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of I know that separating might mean losing active access to my kids 50% of the time, but I'll be fine.
Yeah, the fact that he thinks he'll be fine is...
Or even just putting that in there, like, but I'll be fine. Like,
no, you hit that with that's a bridge I'll cross when we come to it, or that's something that we'll have to work on.
Yeah, like, it just seems like too many men kind of expect their wives to kind of be the all-encompassing.
With the way the courts work in America as well, and in Australia and most around the world, is the men just don't get the kids.
Yeah, but those stats are specifically linked to the men not asking for them. If you look at the records, if a man actually wants their kids, they are more likely to get them if they fight for them. Usually because of the additional resources that they have when you're looking at...
And he is at least asking for 50% of the time, which is good. Like, he's stating 50%. That shows he wants the kids. If he didn't want the kids, it would be, I won't get to see my kids anymore. Also, how old are the damn children?
That would definitely be helpful.
If they're grown children, he doesn't need to be pulling his weight at home, because they should be pulling their own damn weight.
Yeah.
But if these are young children, especially given their ages, they can't be more than 12, 14, I'd say. Even if they had them crazy young.
Yeah, there's an edit. I see my post was cross-posted. I saw a lot of comments wishing for my financial ruin and lots of comments about child support. Honestly, if that's the only verbal weapon you've got to make someone feel small, I truly feel sorry for you. Not all divorces lead to financial ruin, and for context, we are both business owners via both sets of parents, so things are going to be fine since there's not going to be child support. If anything, it would be from her if we truly go 50-50, because her business is slightly more profitable than mine. Ultimately, I agree that if you are in this position where you cannot comfortably come to a decision together that is going to allow you to continue to be compatible, then that is only going to sow seeds of toxicity. And like it's already started. As soon as one of them isn't getting their way exactly as they want it, then it's anger and aggression, and like that shit's going to impact your kids far worse than any divorce will.
But it also feels like neither of them are happy and neither of them are getting what they want, because she clearly doesn't want to have sex and wants to focus on all the other issues where he still also wants to focus on what is the issue here? Why are we not able to come to this?
Yeah. And I think in that case, it is like a psychological. They're basically arguing with themselves. Like I'm getting a lot.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of demand avoidance here.
Yes.
Like the wife is clearly like he's wanting to obviously have a lot more sex than she does, and from the description, it impacts how happy he feels or how
Yeah.
fulfilled he feels day to day, and she doesn't want to feel responsible for that, and that's fair. And honestly, the second I feel like there is an interest in someone wanting to have sex, it's like my demand avoidance comes out, and it's like no. And I know.
Yeah.
So it's like even if she does have a low libido and his is higher, then it's possible just him constantly coming at her about it is why she won't even have sex at her standard libido, and it just goes straight to zero.
It might also not just be all sex. Like their people's love languages can change over time. So if his love language is not just sex, but physical intimacy in general, like cuddling and kissing, and nothing more I like than making out with my partner. Like it is just one of the best feelings in the world for me because physical intimacy is one of my love languages. Like I don't even need to have sex that night. But if I can just get like a good long kiss and a cuddle, I'm good for the night.
Well, psychologically, you have a 20-second hug. Okay. So if there is, it's a psychological kind of trigger that humans all have with physical touch where a 20-second hug or a 6-second kiss releases a wave of endorphins that lowers the heart rate, brings a sense of peace, and it helps kind of grow that sort of intimate connection with who you're with. And so that's pretty much like what you're describing. Like you're
like if they're having other issues and so many fights, that's probably also diminishing within their relationship.
Yeah.
So if they're not even connecting in those little ways anymore, that's going to increase the multitudes
so
of
easy
all
to
the
happen
problems.
when you've now got kids involved, especially if you're both managing businesses.
Exactly.
Like that's all heavily demanding stuff where very often the relationship ends up being put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And that's why even though Ben and I do so many different things, we parallel play our entire lives.
Yeah.
So we'll always be kind of doing our own thing, but we do it in a shared space. So like we're pretty much always together unless one of us is actually working outside of the house. But when we're home in the house, we're very rarely apart, even though we're not spending active time together. But with this, like, it seems like the wife does have some sort of level of demand avoidance because she's still seeing all of his efforts in an attempt to resolve the situation as simply him wanting to have sex. That may be the case, but it could just be that, well, it's obvious there's something happening that's impacting our relationship and I want to fix it. But she can't get past that sexual point where it's like, oh, you're just trying to get me back into a position to have sex with you again, which is automatically making me not want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's the arsehole here. It's just a messy situation that.
Yeah, and that honestly, like she said that she wanted individual therapy. Like, get both of your asses into couples therapy and actually hash this shit out.
Yeah, as well as individual therapy.
Yeah, that's always a good idea. But the fact that it's individual therapy only. Well, she recently told me she wants me to go to individual therapy to stop making her responsible for.
Yes, because I believe they're already in couples therapy.
I don't think that was mentioned.
If not, they should have been.
Yeah.
They should have also been seeing a sex therapist. Because, ladies and gents, here's a thing that everyone needs to learn. Date your wife. Date your husband. You need to keep the effort on both sides of the fence at all times. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's difficult. Yes, it's tiring. But if you can't even just keep a tiny bit of that magic from when you were dating, just because you've signed a piece of paper, you never should have signed that piece of paper.
Okay, some key comments. She's not an asshole for wanting to stop feeling bad about a feeling she can't manufacture, and you're not an asshole for wanting sex in your relationship. No assholes here. That's a really balanced and empathetic take. You summed up the situation perfectly. When couples stop treating intimacy issues as a shared problem and start viewing it as one person's fault, resentment just festers. The dead bedroom stories really do show how crucial teamwork and open communication are if there's any hope of recovery. I don't blame the wife. It may be the case that she is asexual, straight up. At the end of the day, some couples work phenomenally in every other way except in the bedroom, and that's enough to be a deal breaker. Sucks, but such is life.
Yeah.
It is a shame, and it would be nice if they could actually take the time and put in the effort to figure that shit out, but if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Last one. Am I the asshole for wanting daughter and stepdaughter treated equally? I'll keep this short and sweet. When I met my dear husband, he already had a daughter by his ex. Since this is anonymous, I'll just be honest, I wasn't thrilled about it. I always pictured myself starting a family from scratch with someone. Anyways, we got married and I acted very accepting of the daughter, even though in my heart I felt the opposite. But okay, you were already a cunt.
Yeah.
But I never let it show. I was always very kind to the girl and very accepting of her when she was in our home. Soon after the wedding, we got pregnant and I was overjoyed that my husband and I were finally starting our family. I think his ex has always been secretly jealous of me because, okay, pick me. Only a few months after announcing our pregnancy, she made a huge spectacle out of announcing that she was engaged to a guy she'd only been dating for like 1.5 years. Fast forward several years, my husband and I have been raising our daughter as well as his daughter when she's scheduled to be with us. We try to keep things very fair for the girls. Obviously, since the daughter doesn't live with us full time, there are some differences. Like when she visits, she uses the guest room, but our daughter has a permanent room since this is actually her home. But other than that, everything is equal. That depends. Are we talking like an every other weekend situation?
Yeah.
Or because if that's like 50-50, like, no, that kid should have her own fucking room.
Absolutely.
And even then, whenever she's over, she should absolutely be able to fully claim that space. So if other people are invited over, like, no, that's her fucking room.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm upset. Over the years, the ex's new husband has advanced in his career and is now very well off. It's obvious because of the cars they drive, their house, etc. Despite this, they never had kids of their own. Instead, they just shower her daughter with everything she could possibly want. She's not my daughter, so if she ends up spoiled, that's not my problem. My concern is that my own daughter is seeing this and is going to start feeling disappointed that my dear husband and I can't spoil her in the same way. I've had these feelings for a while, but kept my mouth shut until a few months ago when it came to a head. For the daughter's birthday, they got her a brand new iPad. The next time she came to stay with us, they let her bring the iPad with her, even though they know dear husband and I can't afford to buy an iPad for our daughter, basically rubbing it in our face. I blew up at my husband, and the result was the daughter was told she has to leave the iPad at home when she visits us. I thought that it couldn't get any lower than that, but at the last custody handoff, the ex mentioned that for Christmas, she and her husband are surprising the daughter with an expensive family vacation to Florida. I put my foot down and said absolutely not. Unless they plan on taking our daughter too, they cannot go. Period. You don't get a fucking say. Period. You can't control what one parent does on their other custody time.
But also, is any trip to Florida really that expensive?
I mean, it depends on where you're coming from. I mean, we wouldn't have to go that far. We can get eaten by a gator-esque crocodile just going down the back. But
Let's go out to North Queensland.
Don't even have to go that far. They're crossing the border now.
There's a man killed every 3 weeks in North Queensland by a crocodile.
Yeah, but unlike the US with their guns, we don't go out and buy more crocodiles. My husband is usually the guy who does anything to avoid conflict, but he told me I'm being unreasonable. A few of my friends have said the same thing, but I don't see how. We have always taken her daughter on our family vacations.
Because that's your choice.
Though the trips we take are much more humble. Why is this any different? Even just typing this out makes me see red. I just want the girls to grow up being equals. How can I be wrong for that? Well, you're wanting it to be an equal situation despite the fact that it's not, because your husband is legally responsible for his daughter.
Yes.
While this other couple, the ex and her husband, are not legally responsible for yours. Hence why it's different. But in the end, you can't control what another parent does on their custody time. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? Like,
it's on you to educate your child that they have money that we don't have, and that's okay.
And to be grateful for the things that we do have access to.
We can still go on holidays as a family. You still have a sister that loves you. Yeah, she has this stuff, but you don't need all of that to be happy. Like, material wealth is nothing in this world. I could literally have nothing in my bank account as long as I got a roof over my head and I'm with someone that I enjoy spending time with. I'm good.
Mattress on the floor. Mattress on the floor.
Literally, like I've lived here for 3-4 week stints during COVID, and it was some of the best times of my life because I was just with my found family. So if they want to buy their child's love, let them, because they will eventually see what has happened and will see that, yeah, they didn't have much money, but I still never wanted for anything when I was there.
And if they are decent parents, this child, despite, being spoiled, could very well be appreciating what they have and being very generous of spirit in sharing it with your daughter as well. So the idea that, or like this individualistic ownership over collective sharing, it's like a rising tide raises all boats. Like,
Yeah.
if everyone involved is raising this child right, then everything she gets will have flow-on effects to everyone else. But everything just seems to be cut off right at the neck, where she's not even being given a chance to prove herself one way or the other. Like, she could be an excellent older sister to your daughter if you just stop being a cunt about it, but she's going to be more likely to sour to both you and your daughter if you keep pulling this shit.
And not just that, but if you love this man, that is also your daughter.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Yes, it's not the way that you see your life. Fuck off with this my daughter, his daughter bullshit. They are both your children.
Yeah, no, I disagree. Honestly, you never should have gotten involved with a man who had a child. As soon as you saw that he had a child, then it should have been very clear. Like, no, there is a flesh and blood kid there that deserves to be only in homes where they are fully accepted for exactly who and what they are. It is not fair in any way, shape, or form for you to come in and expect that you can compartmentalize your husband's life like that, because that's only going to lead to far bigger problems in the future than you have now than a fucking Florida trip.
It's how you get a Cinderella.
Key comments. You're the asshole, a fucking massive one. Excuse me, you honestly think you have the right to tell someone else how they get to raise their kid, what vacations they take them on, what gifts they can get them, or anything like that? Newsflash, you don't. You are not taking her daughter on family vacations. You are taking your husband's daughter on family vacations. And really, you think you are raising your stepdaughter as an equal to your daughter, because you aren't. You make it pretty damn clear how much less you consider the stepdaughter in this post. So I can only imagine how you actually treat her in person. Also, she got engaged after only dating for 1.5 years. That's a perfectly fucking reasonable amount of time to be dating someone before getting engaged. You sound petty and jealous as fuck, not the ex.
Yeah.
That one was fucking draining. Now, I actually do have the right to dictate what my ex does on his custody time, specifically because that's how I wrote the parenting orders. He had to meet criteria X, Y, Z to be able to do Y, right? And that was to make sure that, given what our son's needs are, that at every stage he would have the safety net of support to be able to take care of him as he learned what he needed to. And it's taken ages to get us to that point. But this story is absolutely not about safety at all. It's literally just about control. And
if you're that worried about the other kid getting a brand new iPad, doesn't matter if it's brand new or not. Jump on Facebook Marketplace, pick up one from 2 generations beforehand that is still perfectly good for like $100. Fuck
I
off.
do that with all of my devices.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever bought a brand new device. Well, I mean, like, they're brand new, but the latest device. Like, even every single one of the phones I get, it's always just, okay, what is the oldest model that is still currently out there in stores? Like, they're not making any more of them because there's like 2 newer models since then, but one that I can still find that's still brand new, because it's going to be like at the very least, half the cost of the latest model.
Well, like, when I do upgrade my phone and stuff, I do get the latest model. But just because my phone contract has run out after 3 years, I still wait another year or 2 while my phone is still good before I get the next one. Because I might, even though I'm an Android guy, not Apple, sorry, I will look around the Android market and I'll still look at which phone is the best for my needs. And it might be one from a generation prior to what the current model is, but I'm fine with that. Like, you don't need brand new technology all the time. And it might not be a case of they're buying her love. It might be they grew up poor and want to give her a life they didn't have, which is perfectly acceptable. Just because you can't do that for your child doesn't make you less of a parent, which is what I think some of the anger stems from, is they feel less than, possibly. And if that's the case,
I definitely think she doesn't want her
work
daughter
on
to
yourself.
feel less than.
Yeah, but I think
And
she
that
might
kind of
personally be
flows
less
onto that.
than
Yeah.
because she's comparing herself to his ex all the time.
Yeah. I married your ex. I got him instead of you.
Do you feel like he
And
downgraded, or do you feel
yeah, and
like
you went
you
on
did?
to marry a rich guy. And now we struggle with money and you don't.
Yeah.
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 It's just really sad.
Why would you go to Florida by choice, though, honestly?
Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next time. I'm Courtney, and this has been Court is in Session. We'll see you next time.